Alright, we appear to be on. Gonna wait for confirmation on that.
What?
Nothing.
Oh, you're on.
Yep.
Oh, jeez.
Waiting for confirmation that the stream is actually working.
Mm.
Do 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 bum bum.
Alright, I'm gonna take my stuff outside. We're gonna get going.
All right. Actually, you know what? I can just. Oh, hey, I need to update that anyway. Herpader. And yes, we do appear to be on. Yes, okay. Okay. Excuse me. That is updated. We appear to be on. Don't know if anybody's watching yet, but I don't care. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to Radio PSI this Thursday night. I'm your host, DJ Amstrack, Amsrai, or just Mark. And this is Thursday Throne. Daniel will be back shortly. He ran out to get dinner, so I'm going to be stuffing my face for the first part of this show. I was hoping to avoid that, but that's okay. Ah, that sounds like him. Hooray! It is food. Pile o' things. Anyway, tonight we are going to be continuing the Banner Saga. To remind you of what happened last time, we got to Einertoft, and that's the only city name I can remember. Dang it. What was this? Some other Varl city got destroyed. That sucked. And now Einertoft is under siege. And there's that giant serpent running around. And that other Minder isn't dead. She's alive again in that keep. And yeah. We need to get out of Einertoft, and what are you doing? Is there something over there that you're teabagging, or?
No, it's just, if I don't do this, then, like, it's pretty much just, like, the crotch show in the background.
And nobody wants to watch the crotch show.
No. Alright, it's even worse than this.
Stop wiggling your butt.
Truly a terrible sight to behold.
Truly. Anyway, let us be on with this.
Okay, this bag contains your beverages.
Okay.
And that bag contains everything else in this bag is my work. It's very bags. As are my shorts. Right.
Beverages.
I should check my thin privileges instead of complaining about the shorts being loose, but then
Thing privileges?
thin.
Thin privileges. I heard thing.
Yeah, like fitting between banisters on stairs or being able to go under weird gaps and things. Or
Things.
having shorts that don't want to stay up. Well, actually, they're having no trouble actually staying up, but they're low and straight.
You weren't such a... Can't say it on
Do you want ketchup? Because I don't particularly want ketchup.
Curses! I tried ketchup because I got fries.
Ah,
All I have is a sandwich. I have no use for ketchup.
well,
Yeah, put it on the ceiling fan. I don't know.
that's a terrible idea.
It is actually. I start thinking about it.
Remember when we used to put Mountain Dew cans on the ceiling fan?
Yes, that was amusing.
Mm-hmm. Our ceiling fan is much higher now.
I can still do it.
Oh, my speakers are off. There we go. So, what we are up to right now is we can go to the Great Hall to try and convince the King Man to destroy the bridge so that the dredge can't get across the chasm to Einertoft. The king has refused that at every point thus far. So, who knows how amenable he will be to it if we talk to him again. We could destroy the bridge without his permission, but that would probably be a bad thing as well. Or we could just leave without destroying the bridge and probably doom the last living Varl to be slaughtered by the dredge. So, all in all, not a very pretty selection of choices laid out for us. Okay. You'll do as I say. I'm not here to argue. I'm telling you that we're dying by dozens every day now. You sent our best away with Hakon. How long do you expect us to last? You asked for this command, Fussault. Don't let them get across that bridge. Fussault takes his leave just as you approach. Not great timing, you think to yourself. Thank you for the audience. I forget your name. Rook. Rook, how is Ingvar? Will he survive? I think so. If I remember Ingvar well enough, he hasn't told you why he faced down Bellower, did he? No, he keeps things to himself. Yes, that sounds right. Ingvar confronted Asunder in his youth, during the Great Wars. He won that fight. None other but the Menders have done that. He proved us stronger. Maybe he thought to do it again. Ivor killed Asunder? How did he end up in Skoger? You'd have to pry that from him yourself. I don't know. He disappeared when the last king tried to make him kinder. It occurs to you that Yorander would not be on the throne now had that happened. But why are you here, Rook? Be brief. I'm offering to help take apart the bridge. Human, if there is one more mention of that bridge, Yorander's mood changes almost instantly. If you have nothing else to say, get out of my damned hall. We're all at stake here. What is so important about that bridge? There we go. That'll get right to the heart of it. Every man I've ever met thinks he'd rival the gods himself if only he were in charge. I am over 400 years old, and I know that I know little. You are a child, an infant, yet you know everything. Listen, human, this story is not about you. If you jumped from that bridge today, the world would not change. Now either help Fasolt retake it, or leave my city. I don't care which. Guards are quick to usher you from the Great Hall. You don't resist.
Go check your trunk for something.
Okay.
What are you talking about thinking you know everything? You're asking questions. That automatically means you admit you don't know everything. What's so important about the bridge? Why is the bridge? Uh-oh. So across it says that something along, or it has implied that screen that you capture is not captured.
What?
This is, I'm sorry, this isn't the banner stage. This is black screen the game.
Hold on.
Preceded by Clumsy told us
There
a
we go.
story. Followed by Clumsy Clumsy saying in Amzrai, I'm on Knights. That sounds like a direct quote.
Okay, now it appears to be working. Daniel, advise me. I don't know.
Oh, you're in a big.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so.
Because once again, as this game seems to like to do, all the options are bad.
You're under refusal to let you bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Important. You only have 1 day to rest after each of the battles in this chapter. Fight cautiously and try to avoid getting party members wounded. If you choose the first option, you'll gain a morale bonus and spend the day fighting a battle.
What is the first option?
Fighting on bridge.
Okay.
Except right now you're not at that choice. You're.
I'm at a point where I have to choose to fight on the bridge, destroy the bridge, or leave.
Oh, you are at the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Or not that thing. Assault won't turn down your offer for help, and you'll be given 3 options. Take the first one, gives you morale bonus. Yeah, the guy just really fights.
Okay.
Trying to destroy the bridge will probably get you, like, king anger.
Mm-hmm. At the war front, rows of Varl are lined up, waiting for their turn to fill in as the warriors on the bridge battle Dredge in one endless churn of bodies and blood. Fasolt catches your eye in between giving orders. "You lost, human," he says. Offer to help.
You know, every time you say Dredge, I think about anybody out there ever seen the movie Titan AE?
Yep.
They were the enemies in that movie were the Dredge. They were organisms. Well, no, they're not organisms. They were beings that were made of pure energy. And so there was like no way to beat them. But then that becomes a fairly obvious plot twist or plot device at the end of the movie. Yeah, the Dredge. All right, folks.
So, like, if a race of douchebags managed to reach the end points of the civilization as described in Babylon 5.
Babylon 5. What about Babylons 1 through 4? And Deep Space 1 through 8? No one talks about those fallen heroes.
Those are all destroyed tragically.
Yeah. By Benjamin Sisko. Ooh.
I was even called in the show The Last Babylon.
Oh,
It's the
really?
last station of the story.
Wow.
Yeah, there's been lost in various ways.
Hiccups.
Laptop, board, cord back, stand, speaker. Television if I need it. Need the cord off the wall. I'm good.
Cool.
Sugar Fawcett quotes Clumsy saying, "Because it was beautiful, Master Zed Hats Delsis."
Fight on the bridge or treat the wounded? Because both seem like worthwhile efforts.
Go on the road to Sky just to fight on the bridge, as it yields a morale bonus, and the fight gets some renown from.
Yeah, renown is good.
Where's the drum mic stand?
No, it is right here. The
Clip should be in the garage.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's right here.
no, sure enough.
I don't want to mix them up because then, I mean, they're the same clip, but you know, the other one isn't the one that Will owns. I try to keep them separate. As far as away.
Yeah.
All right. See you later.
Later. Fasolt nods and puts you in line with the others. "Don't be a hero," he grunts. "Kill a few and come back alive." A slow terror starts to creep in from waiting to go into battle, but eventually you find yourself face to face with rows of Dredge packed shoulder to shoulder. No, wait, Mogan's the one who likes to fight. Let's get Ekel out there, too. All right. Let's see here. Ugh. Let's focus fire here. Take out one flank rather than trying to keep a line. One, two, three, four, five. Okay, so she can't get that far. So she should go over here and attack you, doing armor damage.
Actually, it was very interesting. I should see what was going on.
Okay, what does guts do? Ooh, that's good, but not right now. One, two, three, four, five. Okay, so you move right there.
Is it correct you've heard about the Sandwich Goat Donkey Queen Crash 2 run?
The Crash 2? Huh?
I thought it said for something games done quick, but I'm not sure what S is for.
Summer.
Oh, Tom. Alright. I sure haven't. What's Crash 2? Crash Bandicoot 2 or something? Snow Crash 2? That's a game.
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, up one.
Crash Bandicoot 2.
You know, I've never actually played any of the Crash Bandicoot games. And, of course, he's summoning. Not gonna let that happen.
It was weirdly painful to watch, and the runner got himself banned from returning.
Wow! What happened?
Threatening to kill people, even in jest, is frowned upon.
Yeah. Yeah, it generally is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And Clumsy pipes in, and became human is frowned upon. Basically, at the end, he purposely soft-locked the game, and after joked about killing everyone in the room.
Jeez.
So aside from that unfortunate ending, why was it painful to watch? Was he just bad?
Yeah. One, two, three, 4, 5. Okay, so she can stay put. Nice.
To be fair, prematurely ending the segment with a soft lock was the right choice. Why was it the right choice? What was going on before it ended? This guy likes his archers.
Guts. Do you have it? Oh, jeez.
Mender, chip away at the enemy's armor and strength.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Must have you tried to spell mend yet?
I have not, but I'm about to. 'Cause ow. Of course.
Dredge Destroyer, more like Dredge Loser.
Dang it. There goes Echo.
Yeah, I was about to say that wasn't meant you used there.
Yeah. No, I used Mend last round.
Oh, what did it do?
It restores armor.
Ah. That's still nice.
Yeah.
Yes, this is that dumb bridge that Yernder insists on defending. Personally, I don't think it's so great. I mean, look at that hole. Strategy was weaken the destroyer as quickly as possible, having Primor and Eagle stay close together and draw the enemy's attacks, while they had their archers and Evans chip away their armor and strength. Obviously, making sure the destroyer and warrior doesn't get a chance to stun reinforcements.
Oh, well.
That lightning attack is AoE.
It is. However, he's out of willpower.
You have 3 stars in Homing. 4 stars in Homing.
Oh, so I do.
And can hit 4 dredges, that it looks like?
No, it'll only hit one.
I thought an AoE thing too.
It goes out diagonally.
Okay. The Stone Colossus took care of the AoE for you.
Mm-hmm.
Shooting through you, you're not the same. Girl's got magnum arrows.
Oh, no. So close.
Oh, that's bad. Because you only have 1 day between fights. cautiously and try to avoid getting party members wounded.
Mm-hmm.
I think cautiously means if they're beaten up badly enough they can be one-shotted, they should back out of the fight.
Well, he hadn't had a turn in a while.
Sugar Frosted says, man, where's the C4 when you need it?
Hmm. Double kill.
No, Sugar Frosted, why would you abandon us?
Promotion.
What are you abandoning us for? Tasty sandwiches? Some other stream? Hmm? His favorite runner is learning Jack and Daxter.
Hmm. You'd swear the fighting is getting more vicious and dangerous. Again, you let the next line of Varl push into battle when you don't dare to risk it anymore. Come back tomorrow if you're looking for more, says Fasolt. You sleep poorly, Avon's suggestion to collapse the bridge repeating in your mind. Supplies.
Can you borrow equipment from injured heroes and put it on uninjured heroes?
None of my injured heroes are wearing equipment.
What is...
Well, Avon.
Oh, I guess no one can really use his.
Nope. Promote. Costs 10. Dang.
10 is what you have. Or had. Okay,
Okay, how do I get out of this? Ah.
the back arrow letters.
Dang it, she also needs 10. They're all going to need 10. Ugh.
Higher ranks cost more.
Yep.
So if someone was like rank 1...
They weren't. They were all rank 2.
Oh.
That's why I said that. Okay, well, I guess back to fighting on the bridge. You approach the bridge, which gets a raised eyebrow from Fasolt, who is lugging a dead warrior over his shoulder. Back for more, he says, Glancing out onto the bridge, you can tell that they've lost ground on the bridge since yesterday. What's the plan here, you ask with concern. I just do what Yorander tells me, replies Fasold, and right now we're killing every dredge on that bridge, so throw in or piss off. If you don't want to fight, help me clear bodies off the bridge. Our warriors are getting choked up around them.
Do not do number 2 unless you want to lose a guild.
Ugh. Okay.
For some reason, specifically on the second day, if you choose to remove bodies instead of fighting, a guild will be killed by a dredge.
Jeez. Alright, fight again on the bridge. You know the drill, Fasold tells you as you prepare yourself for another perilous fight. You're starting to wonder what the point of risking your life is if there's no progress to be seen. Okay. Let's do this. That's a lot of shield dudes.
That is. What is that like?
3.
A stone colossus and 2 stone guards, or?
Defender and 2 stone guards.
And a warrior who's the actual threat.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 jerks that appear to have explosives.
Flame Slinger, Inferno Slinger.
My question is, do you focus on killing those 2, or do you use them? 'Cause I'm not sure. I do know you want that warrior weakened real quick because of Shark's hit metrics.
Yeah.
If you can get dredge caught in AoEs, the better.
Yeah. Excuse me.
Oh, shit, we didn't get back fast enough. Did you happen to set the debate story board?
I didn't.
Right.
They'll be online.
Hey, well, what I was wanting to watch them on large screen. Not exactly live, but amusing amount of power. Because, woo, it's gonna be an epic Trump top. All his handlers are gonna have a hard time breathing because their throats will be clogged with a Trump lump.
Really?
And the ratings? Oh, you can bet they'll get a Trump lump.
That's terrible.
Hey, here's being Trump grump.
Really? Really?
moves. I should probably stop this before the joke gets cut down to a mere Trump stump. Oh jeez. I hope nothing horrible happens and someone has to see like a shaking Trump romp. That would be awful.
That was not what I expected.
Oh, they're in such a cluster. Well, actually, if it's diagonal, it can link it to them.
Run through.
Slog of people getting hit in the head by metal men with hammers. I couldn't put that anywhere convenient.
Right? No, you come over here and let's mark prey, because that move is awesome. Well, except when it gets deflected like that. Really?
That's mark territory. Welcome to Threat of Cats. Necessity. Means
you get back a bit?
Such a sick moment to prevent the destroyer. She knocked the thing off. The charger cord gradually slid. She thought she was safe.
Remy, quit that.
It eventually slid off and settled her. Weirdly like Homer Simpson. Well, they nearly faded that loser. Yeah, silly Dread. Hurt your friends. Good job.
Thanks.
Treasure, a bunch of team killing noobs.
Mm-hmm. Oh no. He's going to be difficult to get to.
We have a star in the warrant if you did.
Yeah.
Actually, you have 2 stars.
No, I just have one. I don't believe so, no.
So,
Ow. Four. Dang. You need to get out of there. Ow. No.
ooh, no, that's a chain lightning.
Mm-hmm. Ow. Dang it. Ugh. This was going so well, and then it just...
sucked.
Mm-hmm. Started out well. It's where the fighting is getting more vicious and dangerous. Again, you let the next line of Varl push into battle when you don't dare to risk it anymore. Come back tomorrow if you're looking for more, says Fasolt. You sleep poorly, Avon's suggestion to collapse the bridge repeating in your mind.
Why do you even have it as a direct option?
Alright. I guess let's continue to fight on the bridge. As you approach on the third day, the warriors are in more disarray than usual. Where's Fasolt, you ask one of the passing Varl. Didn't make it, he replies. Dredger nearly at the mouth of the bridge, barely held back. Your mind starts to wander into dark places. You snap back to attention when you realize nearly the entire army of Varl are staring in your direction. Ivor walks past, shuffling slowly with an enormous axe in his remaining hand. He heads toward the bridge. Ivor, you yell, but he doesn't reply, plunging his axe into the nearest dredge before kicking it over the side of the bridge. Come on, he screams at the Black Horde. Cursing, you rush to his side in battle. Okay.
Holy shit, you lost Fasolt?
Apparently.
No good. This thing didn't even mention that. Everyone only has 12 strength and 12 armor in this battle, so you need to be more careful with him than usual. Recommends to hang back, wait for the enemies to come to you, sniping them with your archers as they approach, and possibly reverse landing when you're close to getting. If for some reason save slingers for last, since they tend to stay closer together and can't take as much abuse as the wailing grunts. Your party's lacking in Marl.
Well, with this group, it always has been. Let's see what we can do. He can't hit anybody from there, so just get into position, I guess. God, 22 strength.
Where did I take it?
Mm-hmm.
This is not going to be an easy fight.
Nope, sure isn't. Oh no. That's gonna be a one-hit kill. Yeah.
Ooh, she was way too far away.
Well, she got close so she could attack. No reinforcements. And hopefully none for you either. There we go.
Just gonna put an explosive next to your two buddies there, huh?
Ow. And down goes Ivor.
Yeah, fine. Here's what I recommend trying to mend him next turn. Or this turn. Or, yeah.
Dang it. Oh. That's cheap.
Well, you have 4 stars in the horn.
Mm-hmm. You know what? He doesn't need the ranks. She does, but she still can't get within range. You go there. Enough of this, groans Ivor, who seems to have snapped out of his daze. This is getting us nowhere. You follow as he climbs the stairs and throws open the doors of the Great Hall. Ingvar, glad to see you well. You swear you catch a note of trepidation in the king's voice. Jorundur, enough. This fight cannot be won. Again, this? I'll be damned if that bridge falls during my reign. You'll let our whole race die? We'll all be gone someday, Ingvar. I need not tell you. There are no more Varl being made tomorrow, or 1,000 years from now. We are it. And I will not destroy what we have made. Would you leave no trace of us when we are gone, as if we never existed? I know this, but yours is one voice of many. I know that the Varl are equal. The days of Kinder are over. I ask these Varl, all there is left in the world, to follow me and live another day. Who do you think they will choose? The weight of the air in the Great Hall becomes so thick it nearly suffocates you. The silence continues for ages. Go on. Take the Minder. Destroy the bridge. Do it and leave. Take whoever would join you and do not return to my city. The alliance of man and Varl is through. Ivor is almost out the door before Jorundur has finished his sentence. Led by Ivor, the Varl push hard one last time against the dredge until there is room enough for Eyvind to take position and start raining down lightning bolts on the bridge supports. Before long, the masonry is a shattered mess and begins to give under its own weight. Varl and dredge alike race to escape the collapse. When the dust clears, there's a gulf between you and the furious dredge. They won't be crossing this way. You've gotten what you wanted, says Jorundur. Now leave. If I ever see man or Minder again, it will be too soon. Eyvind tells you, Juno will be waiting for us in Sigerholm. Despite the end of the immediate threat, many Varl choose to join Ivor instead of following Jorundur. You depart with a long caravan at your heels. Chapter 6 of Our Bones, the Hills.
Damar's king finally let you break the name break.
Mm-hmm.
Did the Varl not produce any other artwork or things capable of lasting?
I don't know. While walking, the words of a mother's song reach you. It's soothing, nuanced, and about your current journey. When she finishes, a man begins a tale of his own in verse. The woman quickly responds with another poem, and the entire caravan slows to listen to the entertaining competition. I'm tempted to do 4, but number 1 seems,
lots of these. For some reason, option 3 improves the caravan's morale.
Ignore the poetry contest and keep an ear out for danger?
Yep.
Huh. Well. The laughter and cheers continue behind you as you put some space between to remain undistracted. The male contestant soon admits defeat, and the clansmen quickly march on, thankful for the lighthearted distraction. Okay. We are nearly out of supplies.
Oh, that's not good.
You notice most of the Varl pacing while others sleep. Their brief conversations with each other and other clansmen grow shorter and sharper. "Go away," roars one Varl at a young girl asking him too many questions. All the clansmen stop and stare. I think sending him ahead to put some space there is the best bet.
Yeah, seems like what he probably wants.
We could all use a bit of space to stretch, you say to the giant. Why don't you and the other Varl take the lead, set the pace? We'll follow. He looks at you and nods, appreciating the graceful compromise. The giant explains, "We live in the north for its space. Endless miles of snow, ice, mountains, fields. Space to be alone. But here there is no time for such things." Understanding slowly trickles through the caravan, relieving some of the tension.
And the plants are doing weirdly well here. Where is the sunset going away?
It appears that large figures following from the direction of Einertoft. Oddleif watches intently before finally saying, "They have a cart. I can hear it." You slow to get a better view and spy a small caravan of Varl. Eventually they catch up. "Greetings, Iver. It's been quite a while since we talked, hasn't it?" "I know you. Ubin. Never imagined you to be one to defy the king. What made you leave?" "Someone had to." "What do you mean?" "Bellower's heading this way." "Already? How is that possible?" "A group of Varl from Wormtoe showed up around the back of Einertoft, the long way. Bellower and his army chased them across the summer path, they said." "Past Wormtoe? That doesn't make sense. Bellower was at the bridge." "He must have doubled back after that serpent appeared. While we fought on the bridge, he led half his forces around to approach Einertoft from behind." "The attack on the bridge was a feint?" "Don't let anyone tell you the Dredge aren't clever. Einertoft will fall within a day." "Maybe not. He's following you." "I thought one of you might know why." You exchange nervous glances, but nobody speaks up. And I have to go record my live. I can't put it off anymore.
Okay.
I'll be back.
As the vendor glances around awkwardly, and some mist floats around for some reason. Greetings, Mr. Accident. I like Avon's like nervous glancing around. Gunolf with his pen at the ready. Ready to write something down. Who knows what? The music is making this needlessly intense.
Okay, I'm back.
Everyone's nervous glancing the whole time you're gone.
Must be me, then.
Longest awkward silence ever.
Is there something I don't know? That's quite a grudge he's holding if he's coming for you, Ivor. It doesn't matter. Our only chance is to get to Sigerholm. Juno will know what to do. We'll join you. I bring supplies and warriors, and my friend Gunolf here bears a heavy sword. I believe he'd be happy to swing it for you. 5 more days of food supplies.
Good, you were nearly out.
I was out. The caravan stops at a split in the road. Ahead, the path leading to Sigerholm veers off into the hills, which are now swimming with familiar black shapes. Dredge that way too, grimaces Avond. The summer path leads straight to Sigerholm, while taking the main road will add several days. They're every way by now, replies Ubin. I suggest we go around past Hawkstorp. I'm inclined to listen to Ubin. He's been around.
I learned you 3 renown. For being smart.
I hate to say it, you tell Avond, but I'm not willing to walk into swarms of dredge anymore. Juno will have to wait. You turn toward the long round around Hawkstorp instead. The long round around? Hoping you've saved lives in the process. A trail of blood leads to a clearing where you find a large wounded Varl. He is gnawing on his shield, swearing at no one in particular, and occasionally slamming his cudgel on the ground. If not for the heavy bleeding, you'd leave this one alone without a second thought. We can help if you want it. In a heartbeat, the Varl is on his feet, swinging his massive weapon. You jump clear as the cudgel smashes through the trunk of a tree. Your party scatters to avoid the falling timber. Once you recover, the Varl is long gone, leaving only another trail of blood, which you decide against following this time. Crazy Varl.
Oh, that happened.
You enter a village of miners who wants to know what has been happening recently between the rumblings of the quake and sightings of dredge in the distance. As you look around, you see a lot of elderly and children, and know that these people will only be more mouths to feed. Encourage them to join. You make a convincing argument about leaving town before the dredge sweep through, and do a fair job of convincing everyone to be completely terrified. They start packing. It remains to be seen whether you can keep them safe as you say. Market.
It's got supplies. Desperately needed
Lots of supplies.
And Svalin dust.
Bjorg of Leander. There we go. 10 days worth of supplies. That seems like a good deal. Let's talk to Gunnulf. Don't talk much, do you? You approach the massive green-clad Varl who is sitting quietly by himself eating bread. So? Just wanted to know anyone who can cleave a dredge in two like that a little better. I'm Rook. What to know? Ubin asks me to chop a dredge in two. I chop him. Traveled with Ubin for long? Yes, long time. When I was young, I fight for another Varl. It did not work out. But I learned to swing a sword. Ubin pays well, gives me plenty of things to kill. To be honest, maybe too many things these days. You like that sword, huh? No, I love this sword. Given to me by old Skrimir himself. When I start working for Ubin, he says, I protect the king's collection. I protect the king. Gunnulf makes an expression somewhere between pain and frustration. I couldn't save it, though. He makes a hand motion like an object falling from a tall height and exploding. Mattered a lot at the time. I think it doesn't matter now. Skrimir is dead anyway. I'll let you finish your meal. Want to be friends with Gunnulf, Rook? He pops the last hunk of bread into his mouth. Keep food in the cart. All right. Heroes.
To a Varl's heart.
Promote a lat. Yes. Confirm.
Was he just referring to the incident where the treasure card fell off the cliff?
Possibly. Oh, did she double promote? Yes, she did. I'll take it.
Yeah, she has a higher item rank. She's able to do
Bam.
that cool thing. What'd that thing do?
+1 armor, +1 strength, +1 willpower.
Oh yeah, that. Well, that's not bad either.
Yeah. I'll give it to Hogan for now. All right. Spend my last renown to get 1 more day's worth of supplies. And hit the road.
Okay.
And don't you come back.
No more.
No more.
No more.
No more. Look at that, shouts one of your clansmen. The caravan stops to watch dredge pooling into the village you just passed through. I hope anyone who stayed behind got out alive, says Alette, but you have your doubts. I don't think many people stayed behind. They're coming, says Ivor, pointing out a line of dredge leaving the village and marching toward you. As you watch, the dredge in front falls over, then the one behind it falls as well. You hear a twang to your left. Nid, the archery student of Oddleif, who you recall deftly shooting a snow rabbit, is firing arrows down the hill. Another dredge topples. That's incredible, says Oddleif, squinting. But we should get out of here.
As long as you don't do number 2, did 20. So no Berlin yet.
Odds right, let's go. But why don't you come with us the next time you want to try out that bow, you tell Nid, who nods, a smile on her face. Nice.
You got a new ranger.
Yay.
Wonder if she has yet a different class. Because you have an eagle eye, oddly it's like a sky dagger, whatever the heck he calls it.
Ahead, you find what appears to be a good number of peasants surrounded by brigands. One of the armed men looks over his shoulder and says, "Gods be damned, this is all I need. Listen, don't interfere, and one of these supply wagons is yours." While remaining silent, the peasants plead to you with their eyes. What's going on here? Nothing concerning you, he replies, and before you start telling me otherwise, these are my clansmen. Thought they could run off with every scrap of food in the village. Now, all I want is you to move on, so take your share or don't.
These are random enough that they are not in a reasonable order? Let's see. In fact, that one doesn't even show up.
Yay. If it's all in the clan, then they're handling their own business. And we sure don't need more mouths to feed. I'm leaning towards 3.
I have no idea what happened.
Let's try it. You nod, and a few of your men take hold of the supply wagon, bringing it into the caravan. Other clansmen take a bit of coaxing. They eventually turn their backs to the scene and move on, but in lower spirits. Dang.
Just around.
Yep.
Godstone.
Godstone.
That one's weirdly. Like Thunderhead. And Parallax. Now.
The Godstone of Dunder passes around you. In the frozen climates here, it looks like the rock is split and is falling apart, held together only by the deep snow. Curiously, when standing between the stones, the wind drops off completely, picking up again once you've passed through. I almost wonder if we should rest here for the night, says Ivor, who seems to have noticed the same thing. With all the snow around it, Dredge might not even be able to find us.
Yep.
Stay here overnight?
Well, I don't know about Dredge not being able to find you, but it's how you gotta think.
Yeah. You walk around camp before settling in. Along each strand of Dunder's massive beard is carved a different part of his story, and you turn your head to and fro to read it. While the Loom Mother was the first to create, she soon found a counterpart in Dunder, who embodied her ideals in a masculine form. Dunder took some of her creations, gave them beards, and showed them the secrets of smithing, though many remember him just as fondly for teaching them games and songs of mirth.
He gave them beards.
As the camp settles in, you notice a group of boys huddled around something. They show you an offering box carved into the godstone itself. The box is an elaborate construction of interlocking pieces, which slide around when touched. We can't get it open, they tell you. It's like a puzzle. Try to open it. as the boys take turns working out the puzzle and give you tips when it's your turn. Or the boys take turns working out the puzzle and give you tips when it's your turn, though you don't seem to make much progress. Eventually, they leave to sleep until it's just you and a couple of other determined youngsters. Keep working on the puzzle box. No?
Apparently, you take the first option, and then you get up and go to sleep. Until you get there.
Huh.
I don't know what happens if you obsess over it.
Instead of spending all night on a silly game, you go to Alette and huddle together to keep warm. You wake up with a thought so profound it strikes you like lightning. Rushing to the puzzle box, your fingers moving with purpose until you hear a click. The lid springs open. Inside is nothing. "Oh no," says a boy who is watching. "What a waste of time." To your surprise, when you close the lid, the whole box detaches from the stone. With a shrug, you take it with you. You're suddenly glad you didn't spend all night working on this. Puzzle box of the Twin Rivers.
Can you equip someone with that thing? It appears to be a purple.
It does. Gotta get that perp. "Stop!" a resolute voice calls from somewhere in front of you. The surrounding terrain comes alive with armed fighters surrounding the caravan. "No need for bloodshed," the leader says. "Leave a couple of wagons and pretend you never even stopped here."
Highwaymen? Really?
Inform them about the coming dredge. "I'm guessing you have no idea the dredge are on their way," you shout. "If that's the case, friend," says the leader, "we need those supplies more than ever." Without even a glance to his men, the attack begins. Well, dang.
So is it an item that you can equip?
Yep. 1 will per turn, plus 3 willpower.
Changing each time it is open.
Mm-hmm.
Neat. So basically, it's a box full of willpower.
And I'll switch out Alette for Nid, because I should give more people chances to...
Oh, is it better than that blinker you have on it then?
I don't know. It'd probably be better on Avend than that.
Yeah, because I'm not sure if those lightnings can be deflected.
Yeah. Okay, let's try this. Oh boy, we're all scattered.
Yep, it's one of those checkerboard parties.
Mm-hmm. That looks like a good starting position. Ready. Crit. Bird of Prey. 100% to hit, range 7 tiles. Ow. Crit. Ow. Dang it, there goes Echo. Oh, seriously?
Quickly. After all those dreads, it's kind of sad to be getting spoiling against brigands.
Mm-hmm. Oh, one out of range. Dang. Deflect. Man.
Achievement unlocked. Something.
Bowmaster.
Is that called a Hawkstorp?
Mm-hmm. In the distance, Hawkstorp smolders like an old campfire. Even from here, you can see black figures shambling through it. That looks like a dead town, remarks Ivor, confirming your impressions. There's usually survivors, Oddleif reminds you. Check it out, just in case. I hope others would do the same for me. Dredge are nothing we haven't faced before. Ivor grunts, but otherwise says nothing. Besides, it might throw Bellower off the scent a bit. You head a day's march out toward Hawkstorp. As soon as you've stepped foot in the small town, you think you've made a mistake. It's thoroughly littered with corpses. Within moments, the dredge are upon you as though you stirred up an angry hornet's nest. You draw your weapons. Well, puh.
Yeah, that's cool. You'll find a guy and a market.
Mm.
Sadly, the market lacks supplies.
Oh. Well, that's disappointing. And I suppose it makes sense. Yeah. I do not like what I see.
Oh, you freaking the Weaver's just like, I guess as soon as his turn comes up, you can run him behind the lines. Insofar as, you can move it.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Do you have anyone tanky?
These two.
Good. They're probably about where they need to be, considering the warriors. I think that was a scourge. Other jerks are over there. Maybe they're using them with stone guard Durban.
Warrior. Defender. Defender.
And a bunslinger behind them.
Enraged grunt. Okay. Let's do this.
Enraged guns. It has 11 strength instead of 9. You have to go deal terrible back stuff.
Uh-oh. That sucked. Oh, wow. That one shot him. That really sucked.
Uh-oh. Did you just lose Evan?
Yeah.
Oh, that does suck. Ooh, Scarlet Feather. That's a nice thing. +2 movement, -1 drawing action.
Ow. Don't do that.
Ooh, Falca Thread. 1 armor per turn.
Hmm.
slingers are annoying.
Mm-hmm. Ow.
Yeah, 4 stars in armor.
Mm-hmm. Ow. There goes Rook.
You're not in a position to strength attacks instead?
No, I have terrible odds on those. Are you serious?
Says way towards strength. Oh. I remember, if you have to reload, you have to do it before the battle's over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna reload. If there aren't even supplies there, though. I really don't stand to benefit at all from stopping there.
There is a dude. Plus the fight is ostensibly worth 14 or now.
Hmm. That is quite a bit. Okay.
This guy used Ivor, Krumer, Aled, Odleif, Rookinen. Of course, this is the heck they've been growing with characters.
Hmm. Now let's bring at least one stronger character in this time. Oof. Okay, let's try this. Oh, shoot. That was a bad start.
Unlucky or a bit of a mistake?
A mistake. So if I move up one. Okay, so 3. Jeez. Well, he's screwed pretty well no matter how I cut it, so may as well send him in and have him do something. No. Bloody flail. And pow.
12.
You run. Nobody needs mending. Okay. Well, end turn then. Nothing else to do. Deflect. And there goes Avon. Oh, seriously? Oh, great. He's going to call for reinforcements. There's not going to be anything I can do about it. Oh, let's go ahead and get you out of the way.
I gotta kite that guy around, going all out on his armor and face.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all out. Finally, Victor.
Mm-hmm.
Sucked.
I live in renown. This town is nothing but ghosts, and now covered in more dredge bodies, too. Remarkably, as you're about to leave, you find an old man sitting quietly in a tattered market stall with a couple of items in front of him. He hums to himself as if nothing were wrong and seems to be in shock. Your clansmen gather him into the caravan before you leave. I don't know if we've ever spoken. I'm Nid. You're Rook, I know. We've actually been traveling together for a long time. Isn't it strange how you can be so close to people and not know them? Every day I pass people I swear I've never seen before. I wanted to thank you for letting me join you. Have you always been such a good shot? Honestly, I never even tried before Odd Life made me. I spent my whole life making clothes, cleaning. Odd Life's good, but I don't think it was all her doing. It feels right. I just look where I want it to go. Anyway, I feel better. The caravan, the people worrying all day and making problems. Sometimes they really stew in their misery. I'm glad I can do something helpful. Where are you from? I don't think you're from Skoger. I knew most of the people there. No, I had a house in Frostfeller, but we were driven out when the dredge started to show up. My husband died trying to protect our home. My sons and I were thrown out into the fields. I'm sorry. Eckel's men killed my husband. Now Eckel is traveling with us. For a long time I was angry. Why did he get to live? Why did you decide for the rest of us? You look away momentarily, not sure what to say. But I've let it go. I have 3 sons, and I don't want them to grow up with hatred in their hearts. That's why I wanted to thank you. You're welcome. I should be going. Don't think anything of it. We all have our own problems to deal with. Let me know if you need me to put an arrow in something. She returns to her tent where her boys are waiting for her. It does have supplies, but it's at a steep cost. Not worth it considering how much I have already. Heroes. Let's promote people. Oh, she didn't get a promotion? I thought she did. She has one, though. Promote. She has a second promotion waiting? Wow. I don't have enough to promote Ivor. Definitely not enough to promote Brooke. Yeah. Any of these guys have promotions waiting? Onif, Eckel, Krumer, Gunulf. Nope. Well, let's rest for a day and then head on. Well, I was hoping that would improve morale, but... Leave. No encouragement or tales of glory will lift the spirits of the caravan. In the north we have times like this, says one of the Varl. The other giants grin, raising tankards and horns of mead. Skål, they shout and make short work of their drinks, explaining that each person takes a drink when someone tells a story that is more miserable than the last. Others join them for the second round, and mead is passed your way. Yeah, that seems like it might be good for morale. Join the giants in drinking. Taking the mead, you shout, Skål! The crowd cheers and laughter echoes through the camp for hours as each person comes up with increasingly more absurd stories of woe. The Varl's remedy is a success, and the caravan is in much better mood the following day, albeit hungover and with less mead than before.
Sam inquires, are KO units permanently lost in this game?
No, thankfully.
Yeah, the answer being no. They're just like injured for a couple of days.
I would have been losing hard at this game had that been the case. And here's another Godstone. The Godstone for Ingrid, goddess of knowledge, looks on as the caravan takes a much-needed rest. Ivor shoos some children away from a solitary dredge slinger lying dead beneath the stone. Should we be worried about that? You asked Ivor, pointing to the dredge body. I don't think so, he replies. Still, couldn't hurt to have a few guards look around. Hours pass without warning. Inspect the Godstone. Ingrid's Godstone is carved with ancient runes which don't make much sense to you, though Avon tells you some of the Menders have deciphered them. It's how the Menders learned the language of the gods. Past the largest stone, a long series of slabs contain more writing all the way down the hill. The odd thing, he tells you, is that the writing occasionally changes depending on who is reading it. Usually it describes the history of the gods, but it can be about nearly any topic. Sadly, Avon doesn't know how to read it himself. Juno could, he says. As you're readying to depart, you hear screams from near the main Godstone. The same boys so curious about the dead dredge before are shrieking and pointing. For a moment, you think it must not have been dead, but then you see that they have opened a wrapping that was in the dredge's hands. Wait, says Ivor, his arm across your chest. This shouldn't be seen. Get everyone away. A chill sweeps over you. Alette pushes past and gasps. Stop, shouts Ivor, but the curious onlookers have already seen it. What? Leave it. On the ground before the dead slinger is a small stony figure, its hands searching for something it can't find. That's a baby. That dredge is a woman? We've been killing women. We've been slaughtering children, women and children this whole time? Leaving them to die? In a war, it's only the males who fight. We've been fighting these dredge the whole way. Why are women with children on their backs attacking us? They're not invading. They're running. Everyone stops dead in their tracks. The entire caravan is gathered around, aghast. When I spoke to Juno, she told me something was coming. She didn't know what. A darkness. Something black is covering the world, and the dredge are running from it, just as we're running from them. The serpent, the quake, it's all the beginning of the end. Ivor, you knew. Why? Why didn't you say something? Ivor? When I was young, I killed one of the Sunder during the Second Great War. We called it Rays. Every time we would build our defenses, it would flatten them and push us back again. I became separated from the rest of the Varl and stumbled upon Rays deep in a snowstorm, alone. She was nursing. I threw my axe in the twisted wind. Her son died in her arms. She was so pathetic, kneeling in the snow. She didn't even try to stop me when I took her head. That's how I killed a Sunder. When I found my way to Grofheim, the Varl wanted to make me Kinder, next to be king. I left. Walked until I ended up in Skoger, where no one knew what I had done. The only sound is the wind blowing through the trees. For a long time, nobody says a thing until a child breaks the silence. What do we do with the baby? She asks. A lump forms in your throat, looking at the small obsidian creature squirming before you.
Accidental infanticide to make one not happy about one's achievements.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you choose number 2, the woman in the caravan will give you a thing.
Well, that's kind of what I was leaning towards.
Yep.
You argue strongly for showing mercy and humanity. Some of the women in the caravan hesitantly agree to take in the dredge infant, while others are furious about bringing it along.
What's it even eat?
Not long afterward, one of the women comes to you. Its swaddling was being held by this, she says, giving you a hairpin that looks distinctly undredge-like. An inscription on the silver almost slips your notice. Persevere. From the goddess herself, if you ask me, the woman tells you. Vadran silver brooch.
That might be a nice one.
You're making the usual rounds when you hear a rather loud debate coming from the area that Varl have gathered. Ivor joins you as you approach. Ubin, you'd rather be known for falling asleep and dying in the corner of a mead house than battling a Sunder? No, I'd rather be known for not dying. I don't even know what you're worried about. I did this 100 times in the Great Wars. Take some warriors, plow headfirst into the dredge. They follow you into the hills, get lost, now they're not following you. When you did this 100 times, did they have Bellower leading them? Have you never heard about the time I hit Bellower in the head with a throwing axe? Both Varl halt their debate when they suddenly notice you watching. Don't stop on my account. Careful, my friend. A lot of old history getting thrown around here. The warriors were just noticing that there's a damn good number of dredge on our asses. Bella were pulling up the rear. This one thinks he can just wander up there and throw them off our tracks. How about some gratitude? Thought you'd be happy to finally be oldest Varl in land, Ubin. I'm never happy to lose more Varl, Krumer. Besides, I'm not convinced you're really older than me. Old rivalry you've got here. Comments like that remind me, I've already wasted too much time doing nothing. In the old days, I'd already be halfway to the battlefield by now. Speaking of which, you coming, Ingvar? You could ask Bellower for your arm back. Don't think so. Not exactly in the mood right now. All right, then. I'll tell Hadroborg you said hello. Krumer and a good many Varl warriors head out toward the growing army of dredge. Is he going to come back? He always has before. But this time feels different, I fear.
If you're looking for a good KO sound for your text message sound, I don't recommend the sounds from this game. Way too pained.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, scrunch. Ah! As a text. Why is that your text?
A gaunt man and woman approach the caravan, hands held high. A word, friends, the man says. We are poor farmers, down on our luck. The woman hits him and says, We're outlaws, plain and simple. 10 of us and we'll help you in a fight for some food up front. Or 10 of us and we'll help you in a fight for some food up front. What are your crimes? Misunderstandings, the man says. Mead houses are confusing. Never know when you've drank your share. The woman hits him again and says, We've stolen, killed a few when we had to. Skills that might benefit you out there. Or out here. Huh.
Another random arse one. Wow. Where'd it gone? It doesn't even turn up.
I'll just keep an eye on him. Join us, but you'll be watched. The two quickly shuffle to a supply wagon as 8 more bandits emerge from the wilderness. They gorge themselves on salted fish and cheese, taking time to thank everyone. After eating, they politely keep to themselves. Plus 10 fighters, minus 3 supplies, and We're going to... Hopefully we get to Sigurholm.
3 supplies, not 3 days worth of supplies, right?
Right.
Okay.
Gather around, doubters, echoes a shout in the distance as Krumer and his band of warriors break through nearby foliage. And behold the invincible Varl. The caravan is thrilled to see Krumer return safely. Did the plan work? asks Subin. Work, responds Krumer. Of course it worked. Same old dredge. Should be another day or two at least before they ever find their own asses. And if you apologize, I'll tell you how I found these, Krumer says, tossing you a pair of leather gloves that look big enough for a Varl. He leans in close, whispering so Ubin can't hear. Had something to do with a raven's nest and a hair tie.
What?
Dunder's hand. We're out of supplies. The day's almost over. Okay.
The once calm lake surrounding it now looks like a bow that has been flicked. Proud home sinking into muddy water. A side effect of the quake. What has the rest of the world become on the other side of those mountains?
Isn't Thunder one of the gods?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like an artifact glove. Okay.
One catastrophe to another, says Oddleif as you pull into Sigurholm. The town appears to be sinking into the lake. Townspeople peek from dark windows and makeshift hovels further up the hill. No, says Avon, looking frantic. Where is she? He runs to the front of the caravan, looking out over the water. Juno isn't here, and you get the creeping feeling you're not welcome either. Going upriver looks out of the question. The beach is bare, aside from the occasional skeleton of a ruined fishing boat. You reluctantly set up camp in the sinking town. All I'm saying is, how long are you willing to wait? While taking stock of caravan, you've inadvertently walked into a debate between Oddleif and Avond. As long as we need to. I think we need to get out of here. I don't feel good about this place. Why? What's wrong? Something doesn't feel right. The people here are staring at us like those vultures in the wastes. I'm sorry, Avond. I think Oddleif is right. I saw a man. The whole time we were setting up, he was just watching me. In a creepy way. And how long before the dredge find us here? Juno will come. Just give it a little more time. Rook, listen to me. I need you to trust me on this. Market. Supplies. Oh God, supplies.
Ooh. Save a little renown. Check out the Vulcan thread.
1 armor per turn, that is really good. I can get 3 days worth of supplies and still have enough for the Volca thread. I think I need more supplies than that.
I don't see the word supplies as I scroll down. Well, until the next town where it's 5 for 1.
Well, who knows how far away that is. I'll get 8 days worth of supplies. That should hopefully be enough.
Supplies!
Confirm. You're really worried about her, aren't you? What? Oh, Juno. Worry doesn't begin to describe it. If she doesn't find us here, or something has happened to her. Are you sure what you saw was real? It could have been a dream, or, I don't know. You were pretty exhausted. I don't know. To be honest, I'm not sure anymore. Everything is a blur. Don't tell the others I said that. I have to hope it wasn't just a dream.
Well, after her little rebirth, I get the feeling she happens to other things at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Scared.
What's it like to be a Mender?
Annoyed the heck out of that serpent. Why can't I kill you?
Being a Mender? I guess I never really thought about it like that. It's just part of me. They knew very young that I would join the Order. Born into it, you could say. My mother and father, both Menders. The guild is for lots of people now. Builders and healers. Do they all pull lightning out of the sky? No, that's not normal. It's one of the reasons I know Juno. She's one of the council. She helps me control things like this, so we don't end up scaring people. How exactly does weaving work, anyway? Well, the hardest part is usually seeing the threads. Everything is part of the tapestry. It's made of threads woven together. If you can see the threads, you can manipulate them. I don't know how to explain it, really. It's like trying to play a harp with invisible strings. Look at my staff, for example. Some Menders carve intricate patterns in the wood to help them remember the shapes of... like I said, hard to explain. Why is Bellower still following us? I saw Grofheim as it burned. Avon gets a faraway look in his eyes. The sunder blew through it like a tempest. The Varl fell in the thousands. Most of the sunder left the city and headed south. Who knows where they are now? They might be destroying every town they come to, or heading toward Arberong. Bellower stayed in Grofheim, just for the sport of it, I think. As we fled to Einartoft, I thought he must want to wipe the Varl off the map completely. But then he came after us. Maybe he knew Ivor was the one who killed Reyes. Maybe, but let's just make sure he doesn't catch up. Do you think this is the end times? I don't know what to think. I wish I could give you a better answer. Even if we escape the dredge, that serpent said a darkness was covering the world. I don't know how long that will take, or what it means even. I'm just trying to solve one problem at a time. The Menders are in Arberong. If we can find ships and make it to the capital, we might have a chance. I won't take any more time. No, it's okay, Rook. I appreciate the talk. It's good to stay grounded. I spend all day worrying about serpents or sunder. I think a lot of people are intimidated, or scared maybe, of me. Don't worry, it's nothing new. I'm used to it. Maybe sometime we can talk about things that don't include the world ending.
Poor dude's got some heavy tomfoolery on his mind.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's 5 minutes till the end of the show. Setting out right now probably would put us in a bad position when it finally hits 11, so I think we should wrap up a few minutes early tonight. What say you?
Yeah, sounds like. Sounds like this is inspired by the Wheel of Time. Oh boy.
Which part makes you say that, Cyan? Because this is
Gets like a 20 seconds for a reply because of Twitch lag.
Well, yeah, because like this is largely inspired by like Norse myth.
And possibly peyote. Sand says, lag. The ending?
Okay. I haven't actually read Wheel of Time, but...
I hear it turns. Then there's some guy called the Kinslayer. He keeps accidentally slaying his kin. Sounds a lot like how they describe channeling. Channeling the one power in the Wheel of Time.
Okay. It also reminds me a lot of the way everything works in Earth Dawn.
Ah.
I have no idea which came first between Wheel of Time and Earth Dawn.
Probably Wheel of Time.
That's what I would expect, but I don't know. Okay, you have a phone call. That's a good time to end it. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll be back on Saturday for our big Monaco playthrough. There'll be 8 of us over here. We'll each have a class selected, and you'll tell us what we're going to be... You'll tell us who we take into each stage. So that should be fun. I look forward to that. It'll be chaotic, as the game would be anyway, no matter how many people we had playing. But with 8 people in here, it should be quite interesting and lots of fun. And I'll be back next Thursday for more of this. Both those days are at 9 p.m. Eastern. Hope to see you all then. Good night, everybody.